Right. Happy, where are we? Day 3 at Cannes, and I'm joined by some of my favorite people. So thanks for making time. You as the audience are not getting out of this without doing something. I'm Grant McDougall. I'm CEO of BlueOcean. We're an AI company, and we get to have the opportunity to work with Amazon, which is amazing. How many of you have got an agent? Just raise your hand if you've got an agent at work. Keep your hand up. How many of you got an agent at home that, you know, is helping you with travel or writing, generally taking that pain? How many, keep your hand up if you've got an agent that has an understanding of your brand, your market, your revenue, your customers, customer sentiment, all in one place and accessible to your marketing org?
We do.
Right, so that's really what we're going to be talking about today is what is that gap, right? AI is not really the headline of Cannes. It's been, it's about marketing transformation, right? So when we've been talking to marketers, what we've heard is it's about how are we rethinking our marketing organization and how do we build capability. AWS is in the midst of one of the most, I guess, significant marketing transformations and leading towards an AI native position. Melissa, I'm going to ask my first question to you. As a product leader and a product marketer, how is that changing? The role of product marketing when you have all of that data and accessible to you?
Well, it really improves the signal that we're able to get about our customers. And at AWS, we really value working back from the customer. We are a customer-obsessed company. But we can only be customer-obsessed and truly create the products and services that our customers want and need when we have a clear signal about what they care about, what their challenges are, what their objectives are for their organization. Now, we spend a lot of time talking to our customers, but that information needs to be augmented, our first-party information, with third-party information. And we need to be sure that that signal is accurate, that it's current, and that it has the complement of third-party input like competitive information and like signal from those who are not our customers yet. So as a product marketer, I can do my best work for our customers when I have clear signal and the ability to complement that signal with context in order to create great products and services.
Does that mean you kind of have the customer in the room as a whole, and how is that changing the development of product briefs and the way that you kind of go to market?
It does. We always try and have the customer in the room. And what we also try and do is make sure we're thinking about those that are not our customers yet. This is where analyst relations and third-party signal from analysts is really, really critical. Analysts provide sort of concentrated customer signal with an overlay of data and analysis. But they also provide two things that are really critical as we think about growing our business. One is they are able to tell us what customers say to them when we're not in the room. Because a customer may tell a third party something different than they tell us, but we need to know that information too. The other thing that analysts provide is perspective on those who are not our customers yet. So competitive information, signal about what's coming next. And that allows us to keep that customer in the room, that customer-centric mindset, but make sure that we're not creating any gaps or any blind spots that would prevent us from delivering what they need.
That's awesome. It feels like you have unique capabilities to see around the corner.
That's the goal, for sure. We've innovated in a lot of really critical areas at AWS, brought many, many customers to the cloud. And in order for us to continue to be able to do that in the age of agentic AI, we do have to be able to see what's around the corner and anticipate not what our customers are necessarily asking for, but what they need. what they will need in the future.
Kat, I'm going to pass this one to you. If the product organization is giving us better context, how does influence help the market to understand, and how do we use context to build further influence?
Yeah, I mean, the context is key, and the faster we can get to the context, the quicker we can meet the customer where they're at. And as Melissa was saying, like, trust is really important now, probably more important than ever before. We trust our agents, but probably shouldn't sometimes. And analysts are really an incredible trusted source right now. I like to remind people that we sometimes forget that the relations part of our job, like public relations and analyst relations, is the most important part. And customers are looking to analysts for that same thing. And if we can get closer to the way the analysts are thinking and get those insights back to us in a really rapid clip, it's going to allow us to then meet that customer where they're at, because we understand where they're coming from. We can help them understand what they need, and be able to guide them and take them by the hand and say, you can trust us because we know, we understand deeply what you're going through. And the bonus is when we're meeting that analyst where they're at too, they can talk on our behalf and tell the customers too, absolutely. I've been deeply engaged with AWS. What they're saying is spot on. And just closing that gap at a really rapid clip just helps us innovate even faster and earn that trust really quickly.
It's been pretty cool. I've actually seen some of the technology you're building to kind of transform the way that you go from reputation building to revenue. What are you actually doing right now to make that easier, take advantage of that data, and capitalize on the ability to build influence?
I think Hallie can talk about the closing the gap on the data side, but I would say now more than ever, the top of the funnel marketing is imperative, and it's always been impossible to measure. And I think now we care less about measuring it, because I think we can see the influence that's happening, and we can grab those insights that are happening at the top. And if we can grab those insights that are happening at the top of the funnel, that's going to move us a lot faster down to the revenue. And we can see how it's happening. We can, as Melissa was saying, sort of be in the room with the customer, but also if we have that data layer, I can say, this is an important person to talk to for this very specific audience about this very specific topic. And even if it's not reaching 1 million readers, I know that this is the right person who's going to influence and move the needle, because I have all of the data at my fingertips at the moment that I need it. And that's going to create further influence than any ad campaign or Wall Street Journal feature. No offense if anyone from Wall Street Journal's here. But it just allows incredible agility to move us through that revenue pipeline.
And really reduces the guesswork as well, and the time to value. Instead of reasoning over, well, it could be this person, it could be that person, we'll try everything and maybe get nothing, we can be much, much more surgical and get to the right people on the right topics at the right time, which just allows us to move faster, create faster, serve our customers more quickly.
It's interesting, right? You feel like you're accelerating as a company and really leading in this space in an innovation. Where did you start? What was the foundation? And Hallie, I think this is really a question for you. How have you managed to move so quickly over the last couple of years to really be in a leadership position, both on a marketing organization using agentic AI and being a leader as a company?
Yeah, so I think, what's happened is measurements moved from a reporting function to a decision layer, in my opinion. And what we looked at is we had kind of our data all over the place, and having that aligned data is critical. So when we just look at our first-party data, we only know what's inside our own walls, and we don't map it to our third-party data. So that's what I saw at first, and I was like, we need to bring, as you said earlier, both those signals together, that first-party and third-party data together to really understand what the customer is saying on the outside, bring it close to the market, and be able to make those decisions faster.
Why is it difficult to amass this third-party data? Everyone's like, oh no, that's just social. Oh no, that's really easy. What makes it hard to go and get that and then combine it with your own enormous amounts of data on basically accounts, customers, and what's been performing?
I mean, I can go on this for hours here. Data's complex, I think. You look at third-party data, you have things behind paywalls, you have things in front of paywalls, there's taxonomy, it's incredibly complex, and so you're basically building systems to bring that all together and be able to tell that story. And you're capturing, hundreds of thousands of data points and then analyzing those and putting them through agentic AI in order so that any consumer can go in there and digest those. Because, a lot of people, they're overloaded with information, I would say, right now, and they don't really know how to speak to their customer because they have too much information.
I think everyone in this room has probably had a BI dashboard or a marketing qualified lead. I don't know, do we need those anymore? How do you build trust in that underlying data so executives can make better decisions, act with confidence? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I think dashboards can create an illusion of control a lot of times. So I think you can rely on those really, really well for performance metrics, and they are always going to be important, but you have to color them in with these other metrics that we are trying to get closer to the customer here, and that is going to be that third-party data. So kind of just doubling down there.
And then I think in the results that it produces, one of the things we're really trying to move to is lagging indicators to leading indicators, so we can see where things are going, what's going to be next. And when we're able to do that with great data fidelity, and then prove that out in the product work that we do, and the brand work that we do, and the marketing work that we do, and see those results, that really builds trust, and it's a wonderful flywheel.
Yeah, that's a great lead into Tim. You're sitting there, troublemaker that you are. Brand. How does brand fit into this? It's a pretty unique pairing of people on this stage.
Yeah, so when I think back early in my career when I was a young creative, the thing that you always wanted to do is get as close as you could to the people and the products and the company that you got to work for. Because as a creative person or as a brand strategist, you're just trying to understand. And the larger the enterprise gets, the larger the surface area of the signal gets, the harder and harder that becomes. And so in the traditional model, you had to use surveys and you had to use sort of backwards-facing research methodologies to try and get that signal when it couldn't be in the room. And so what these guys have built with you and BlueOcean is some sort of a magical layer that pulls all of that signal and puts us as creators and as brand people in the very place we've always wanted to be, which is in the center of the story, so we understand it, so that we can activate our brand. Activate our brand in an emotional way, in the right places, at the right time, in a way that actually makes sense. We don't have to guess anymore. We can feel the story because we've got enough signal. And what these ladies have built with you, Grant, is something that gives us the ability to do that. Without that signal, it's just guesswork.
I think that's amazing, and the partnership is really appreciated. We really appreciate it. It's built on top of AWS technology. We're built on Bedrock. We started there, and we knew that was going to be a differentiator. And you were already making leaps into leadership, right, in the AI space. So we bet on AWS. We recognize that it's amazing. Our vision as a company is to unlock human creativity.
Yeah, I think especially now, the amount of technology, the amount of choices we all have, the amount of content. I saw a statistic yesterday in a session that in 1 year, we've increased our media opportunities something like 8% in the last year, and the amount of content has increased 7,560%. So the amount that makes the need to understand what's happening around your brand and the ability to make conscious choices so that your brand can cut through, that you have a stronger, more clear, creative idea, a stronger, more convicted brand, in that noise becomes essential. Without it, you literally become not just in the sea of sameness, but you get buried by it.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? I'd love you guys to kind of discuss how did you do it before, and how are you doing it now? And obviously it's better now, but what were some of the learnings, and kind of share it from each of your perspectives.
Yeah, I am relatively new to AWS, and so one of the things that I was immediately impressed by when I came to the company is how much data we have. It's really phenomenal, but it's also so much that it was honestly hard to digest. And I see this with our customers as well. There's so much new technology. There's so many new opportunities. It reminds me a little bit, have you ever seen a kid where they take a bite that's too big and they can neither chew it nor swallow it? They're just sort of stuck. I felt a little bit that way about our data. I think our customers sometimes feel a little bit that way about content and about new products. And so what we need to do is unstick ourselves from that, because otherwise the option is spit it out, which is not good for anybody. And so we really sat down and I said, wow, we have so much interesting data. How can we really get smarter about how we use it, smarter and faster? And we're so lucky as a technology company to have products like Bedrock that can be built into agentic solutions to be able to do that. And Hallie and Kat just had a wonderful vision for what that could look like. And they took me on the tour of it, and it's been really magical to see what we can do.
Well, I'll say too, it's like technology will fix it, but then we have 20 different individual tools that will do sort of one thing. So I have my social media monitoring. Cool, let me pull all of that. Now I have all my gated content that I need to go through. Let me pull all of that. Now I need to go see what's happening in traditional media and broadcast, and they're all separate tools. So great, each individual one might be very efficient and work fast, but now I have to go manually pull all this together. Or like most of us, we have lots of agencies where I would much rather pay my agency to be my strategic partner and not be paying them to just scroll the internet and pull a lot of links for me. And this tool has made it so that we have that single pane of glass so that we can get to those insights and that data so much faster, where I can use it as my AI teammate. Wake up in the morning, go in there, see what I need to know, what news is breaking, what do we need to care about, what conversations are we not in that we really need to be in, so that I can go talk to my teams and go across the aisle to say, look, we're slipping here. We have an opportunity to look around the corner and be a part of this conversation now, instead of spending so much time just collecting data, and by the time we've analyzed it, the ship has sailed.
Which allows me and my teams, when we're creating work, to have something to go put it up against. Because I've got the right inputs, I can create the work, and now I can go to one place to understand if it's actually working.
Yeah, I think it's important, more data can lead to dumber decisions and more tools, because they're all just completely separated. And I think that, AI has enabled all of us to be incredibly mediocre. And so what we need to do is, one, have the right data mapped together, and also have the right agentic layer on there and train that, and so that you are getting the insights that you need, like Kat said, right away. So when you wake up, you know exactly what to do.
Yeah, I kind of describe it as everyone's got an agent, and it's Agent Smith. You've all seen The Matrix. And when you plug in the right context, we've got Kung Fu, right? So you're looking to actually get the right information that's focused on brand, that allows those agents to actually go to work, that have the marketing sensibility, that understand the customer, that understand the internal constituents. Some practical lessons, like if you're a marketer out there that's had their hand up and said, I've got an agent at work, what would you say? And Tim, I think I want to start with you, because you said something to me about a month ago. You were like, this technology is like the iPhone.
Yeah, I think two things. One is, I think you as Katharine said so well, you actually have to decide to go all in. You've got to build one thing that pulls it all together. So I got really frozen trying to try things. So there's a lot of talk out there like, oh, just try something, just move forward. And I actually have found that that doesn't work. Because as you said, you're using lots of tools and it just amplifies the confusion. So the number one lesson I have is you have to go all in. You have to just decide, I'm going to push through the fear. It's not going to be perfect, but you've got to get something that pulls it all together so that you can get back to being a human being and being able to see what's happening. It's too much information, and you need to use the power of AI to make it simpler.
If I could just build on that, I think what it also allows us to do is get back to the really rich part of our jobs, which, as Katharine was saying earlier, is the relationship part. I spend so much less time gathering information, doing research here, guessing here, doing a side thing over here, and really getting to the heart of what is going to have the most impact for the business, and therefore what is going to have the most impact for the customer. And a lot of times that's the human interaction that is ideating with my team, that is serving ideas to Tim that he can build brand assets on, that's getting feedback directly from an analyst who's been sitting with a customer and helping them with their deployment. So it really allows you to spend more human time and more creative time and less like data crunching, busy work time.
Yeah, I was going to say, I ask a lot of questions, and don't be afraid to dream big. We were talking at dinner last night, like everybody's like, just try AI. And I've started to use it to create content, and I'm like, wait, why am I doing this? Like, I'm a good writer, and I'm spending way more time editing this content and trying to augment it to be my voice and all of this. And I'm like, I should not be using this for content. Let me think about how this is actually going to help the tedious parts of my job and work backward from that. What is my ultimate end goal? What would be the dream world to have? And I think that's what's been awesome about partnering with BlueOcean. I'm always like, I don't know if this is possible, but wouldn't it be super cool if we could do this? And we're like, I think we can do it. And Hallie's like, yeah, I think we have the data. And so I think when you partner and start asking those questions, you can find open doors and possibilities and get to that path of something really amazing. And so when we say like start small, I say start big, like start huge and then work your way and piece it all together to get there.
Big dreams, let's go. Like have those moments where you have ambition.
And have confidence in your people. Hallie and Kat.
Like Hallie.
Yeah, Hallie and Kat came to me and they're like, we've got this really big, crazy idea and we think we can make it work. We've got a great partner. Like, what do you think? And I was like, go, 100% go. Like, do not be afraid to unleash your people. You have to empower them to take these big leaps.
Yeah, and BlueOcean was great too because initially, we looked at your out-of-the-box product and I was like, this is great, but this actually doesn't solve my problem. And I was like, but could we build something that solves the problem together? And you all were just like, absolutely. And here we are, and we're solving it together, and we're able to share it here with everyone today.
It's pretty rad, right? You all just talked about people, transformation,
Belief.
change. Julia White is doing a killer job, right? Leading your organization to future leadership. You guys are growing, right? Like it's in this world where everyone's talking about, role reduction, you're in this mode of growing the marketing organization. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, Julia right out of the gate gave us all the challenge of how can we be an AI-first marketing organization. We truly believe that that is what is going to give us the edge as marketers and the edge in being able to deliver for our customers. So buy-in from the top and the leadership to do that has been really, really important to our transformation. And then also the willingness to look at our organization and the way we do things and ask, what needs to be different in order for that to be true? So we have changed a lot of things, and we've introduced a lot of new roles and a lot of new responsibilities and new mechanisms, which is a very AWS word, in order to achieve that. And that has led us to grow and look for different kinds of people, look for more measurement people, look for more relationship people. And so it is a growth story for AWS.
Does anyone have a last thought?
In a world of AI, you have to believe. You have to bet on humans. You have to bet on creativity. The tools will work for us, But you got to, as you said earlier, have the vision and believe it's possible.
Look, you can all be mighty. There's a little program out there called Mighty Humans, mightyhumans.us. Come and join it. AWS is supporting us in that process of actually helping people get free education, helping them to actually come back and be reskilled, and then is dedicating capabilities to restart people in jobs. And it is done through a heart lens. AI is not about reduction or a deductive idea. It's about expanding our footprint in the world. And I'm so happy that we're here with you. I'm really proud to be part of your story, but not the story. AI should not be the story.
Thanks.
Thank you.